Bonjour mon petit chiflet, Amber here. Before we get started, the rollers are staying because they look cute with the shirt for some reason. So, but I put earrings and lipstick on to pretend that it's not still really early in the morning. Anyway, today is April 27th. We are quickly approaching May, which is Asian Pacific Heritage Month, which means it's also almost time for the Asian Readathon. So today I'm going to share my TBR for the Asian Readathon. If you don't know, it was created last year by Cindy over on Read with Cindy, like I said, to celebrate Asian Heritage Month. Fun fact, I recorded my TBR video last year on the exact same day, on April 27th. I just watched the video. The Readathon runs from the 1st, it's a month-long Readathon, so the 1st to the 31st, 30 days, half September, the 31st of May. There are 4 prompts with an additional prompt, a 5th additional prompt. But yeah, like I just said, it was created last year. And fun fact, the Asian Readathon was actually the first ever Readathon that I participated in, and I loved it so much. So I've been definitely looking forward to it coming back this year. So I don't want this to get too long. I'm going to just jump in and tell you my reads. Oh, there is the same challenge as last year that every separate book that you read should represent a different Asian ethnicity. So we're promoting diversity, and we're not all reading books from just one Asian ethnicity. Okay, so the first prompt is really simple. It's read any book by an Asian author. And I'm actually gonna probably just combine that with all of the rest of the reads, because all of the authors on this list are Asian. So rather than just separate a specific book for this prompt, I'm just gonna combine it. I can't speak today. The next prompt is to read a book featuring an Asian character or written by an Asian author you can relate to. And for that, I have three options, 3 books I want to read this month. There are going to be a lot of sequels on this list. Is it a lot? There are 2 sequels. Anyway, so these 3 books are Spin the Dawn by Elizabeth Lim, Girls of Storm and Shadow by Natasha Nyan, which is the sequel to Girls of Paper and Fire, and An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. I've had this book for ages. It's my copy I got from the launch. So Spin the Dawn has been marketed as Project Runway meets Mulan, which right then there's a selling point. All I know is that the main character, I think, poses as a boy. She is a tailor in her father's shop, and then the royal messenger summons her father to court, and she poses as his son, and I think enters this competition to become like the royal tailor or something. And there obviously is like some sort of magical element involved. I desperately need to read Girls of Storm and Shadow because I love Girls of Paper and Fire so much. So I need to know what happens next. I intended to read this when it came out. It came out in November, I believe, so I intended to read it right then and there. I don't remember why I didn't, but then I kept putting it off. So here we are. Like I said, Girls of Storm and Shadow is the sequel to Girls of Paper and Fire, and the main character, Lei, has been chosen as one of the king's paper girls, which are kind of like concubines. He chooses, or there are new ones chosen every year, and this picks up after the end of the explosive end of that book. That's all I'm really going to say without spoiling book 1. I think there's like war brewing, and this will definitely explore more of the relationship that formed in book 1, so I'm very excited to continue this story. I have been meaning to read all of these books for so long. I think I'm the last person in the world to read An Ember in the Ashes, but it's finally time. I think the final book's about to come out, so I really want to hop into this world and understand the hype of it. I really have no real idea of what it's about, and for some reason I kind of want to keep it that way. I just kind of want to go in and just experience it. It says Laia is a slave, Elias is a soldier, neither is free. Under the martial empire, defiance is met with death. Laia, is it Laia or Laia? I think it's Laia. And her family do not challenge the empire. They've seen what happens to those who do. But when Laia's brother is arrested for treason, she's forced to make a decision. In exchange for help from rebels who promise to rescue her brother, she will risk her life to spy for them from within the empire's greatest military academy. There, Laia meets Elias, the school's finest soldier, and secretly its most unwilling. He and Laia will soon realize that their destinies are intertwined and that their choices will change the fate of the empire itself. I still don't know much, but now I'm choosing all of these because all of these authors are women, and I too am a woman. Also, all of the main characters are women. Elizabeth Lim is Chinese American. Natasha Nian is Chinese, Malaysian, and English. And then Saba Tahir is Pakistani. The next prompt is read a book featuring an Asian character or written by an Asian author who is different from you. So the opposite of the last prompt. And for that, I am reading Like a Love Story by Abdi Nazemian. First, I love this cover so much. Abdi Nazemian is a gay man. I am not a gay man, therefore he is different from me. I don't know why I'm being so weird in this video. I'm really sorry. This is another one I've needed to read for so long. The author also is Iranian. This book sounds so good, and I don't know if I've actually heard many people talk about it since it's been out, but all I know is it revolves around 3 characters, and it takes place in New York during the AIDS crisis. I can't wait to get started. Okay, so the next prompt is read a book recommended by an Asian. So for this one, I guess it's not technically cheating because she did recommend the book. Monica Kim recently read this series and said that the second book, which is what I need to read next, was better than the first book. And I'm like, okay, now it's time to order book 2, and I'm reading Soul of the Sword by Julie Kagawa, which is the sequel to Shadow of the Fox. Well, I supposed to read I started reading Shadow of the Fox during the reading rush, and then I couldn't really get into it. I'm sure you know the story by now. Put it down, picked it up was it December? Sometime in the winter, I think. Absolutely loved it. So I'm finally moving on to this book. The third book, the final book, just came out. So now I have even more motivation to read this book. And my friend Brittany is reading the third book right now. So it's time. Like I said, the sequel, this is the sequel to Shadow of the Fox, which follows Yumiko, who is half kitsune, and she's on a quest. She somehow ends up on a quest with this assassin warrior, Tatsumi. She's on a quest to protect the final piece of this dragon scroll, prevent it from falling in the wrong hands, and she's trying to get it to this other temple after the temple she grew up in has been destroyed and the people who raised her have been murdered. And Tatsumi's also trying to find this scroll. She convinces him that it's at the temple she's trying to get to, so they're working together but against each other at the same time. And along the way I meet a whole cast of characters, so I'm excited to see them more in this book. And after the way that book ended, I don't know what's going to happen next. I don't know how anything happens next. I mean, clearly it does. There's a whole book and then there's a third book, but ooh. And the last prompt is optional. Julie Kagawa is Japanese American. The last prompt is the optional prompt, and and it is to read Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng and take part of the Little Fires Readathon and read along and watch along. So the first half of this is obviously to read Little Fires Everywhere, and that takes place from the 1st of May to the 15th of May, which is great because I planned on reading this first of all the books, because I actually already watched the first, I think, 2 episodes of Little Fires Everywhere, and I want to read how it ends first. I don't want to spoil the book, ruin the reading experience, so I'm going to put it off. But there's only so long I can put it off before my mother strangles me. So I'm going to read this book first, and then the watch along is from the 15th to the 29th, I think. All the information will be below, so that'll probably just mean me watching the show again. That is everything. Those are all the books that I plan to read for the Asian Readathon. I'm really excited. This isn't too ambitious, too daunting of a TBR, I don't think, but we'll see how it goes. I obviously will be vlogging the experience again. I don't know why I said vlogging with that hard, like, East Coast accent. Yeah, thank you for watching. If you like this video, and I hope you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you like me, feel free to subscribe. All my places are down here so you can follow me, and I'll follow you back, and I'll see you very soon.